Yep, no problem. Why did the Indian riders struggle so much? Yep, I certainly can. We've got 5 races coming your way. We'll be starting with the TVS Asia One Make Championship, which it's good to see Singapore's Arsian Rusty taking qualification, fastest qualification for the first time. A lap time of 2:32, 2:31, maximum speed 193.2, which is way quicker than everybody other than Agung and Deki Tiano. Borapang Malwin, the championship leader in P4. Okay. are back. Delighted to be with you from Sepang International Circuit, just to the south of Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. It's round 4 of the Asia Road Racing Championship, brought to you by Idamud. Des Corkill alongside Barry Russell, talking you through 5 races today, 5 races tomorrow. We start with the TVS One Make, which are the guys on your track at the moment. We have 600s, 1000 Superbikes, the 250s, and of course the Underbone. And Barry, it's looking pretty intriguing generally in all of the championships before we get onto TVS itself.
Yeah, the championships look finely poised. One of the stars of this show so far has been the weather, but here's another star, the circuit. It
certainly is. This is our second visit to the Sepang International Circuit. The 2 long straights are the big feature, but the intricate parts on either side make this a wonderful test for the racers, particularly those of the smaller engine capacity. The 310s sometimes struggle going up and down the hills, and it can be a challenging track for them.
Yeah, every one of the riders that I've been interviewing over the last few days has said this is one of their absolutely favourite circuits. It's got everything.
I was looking at the weather coming in. There's a little bit of cloud there. There has been some really severe weather over the last few weeks in Kuala Lumpur area, so rain could become a factor later on over the weekend. But let's focus, rain's not going to be a factor here. Let's go on to the TVS One Make and the final qualification. And this is Agung Septian, but we missed Arshad Rusty, who I know you wanted to talk about, the Singaporean on his very, very first pole in this championship.
Yep, and the very first time we've seen him really come through. He sounded confident at the outset, and he turned in a beautiful lap, really beautiful lap in qualifying to take pole position.
This is the overall championship leader, 2 wins out of 4 races so far. He's been on the grid, the final podium on each of the 4 races so far, and Voropan is the man to catch.
Yeah, but starting from the second row.
Freddie Jacobs. Youngster out of Australia will start in P5, and Hayato Kobayashi will be alongside him, the young Japanese. And again, one of the things you've been keen to focus on during the qualification, a number of new riders beginning to make their way up the grid.
Yeah, Arshad's the obvious one, as we take a close look at Hayato Kobayashi. He had a crash yesterday, but it didn't seem to slow him down too much. He was good in qualifying today. But the one to watch out for after putting together such a good qualifying session is the man on pole position. Just coming into the bottom of the screen there, Arshad Rusty, the sole Singaporean here.
TVS, this is their debut into the championship. We're delighted to welcome them on board. Obviously a big make in India, and they're very dominant in the Indian market, particularly down in Chennai, but it's a whole different kettle of fish when you come onto the international market, and some of the Indian racers have struggled to make the transition from local market to the Asia market.
They have, and they will openly say that this is a big step up in level, but that's what this is all about. And the Asia Road Racing Championship has a fantastic record of using one-make championships to bring young riders through as they start the warm-up lap.
Yeah, all on identical bikes, so it very much is the rider who is the star. And Arshad Rusty is the man, the Singaporean on pole for the first time, alongside Agung Septiawan and Deki Tiano Aldi, 2 Indonesians next to the Singaporean.
And on row 2, Warapong Malahuan, Freddie Jacobs and Hayato Kobayashi. On to row 3.
On to row 3, Natapon, the Thai, alongside Miu Nakanohara, her best result of the season and the best of the Indians, KY Ahmad.
And 4th row, Wacharin Tuptimon, Fugat Tanaka and Jagan Kumar in P12.
Yeah, the Indian champion down in P12. P13, welcome back after injury to Varis Fleming and Deepak Ravi Kumar. Again, one of the Indian riders who will be looking to improve on their season so far today, which has been a disappointing one. Deepak has had 2 DNFs in Sepang in round 1, and well, a P11 and a P13 in Japan in round 2, so a lot to improve upon there. But let's talk about Arshad Rusty, and why and how has he been able to make such a big step up?
He came in very confident. He was talking a good game on Thursday, which was great, but he looked really enthusiastic right from the start. He loves this circuit. We didn't see him really featuring at the front last time, but right from free practice 1 and 2 yesterday. He was strong, and the conditions were mixed, as you probably saw, Des. We had partly rain. It wasn't totally wet, but it was partly rain. It's the first time many of these riders have been at a wet Sepang, including Vorapong.
At the moment, it's a dry Sepang. There is high cloud cover, and it's a little bit grey outside. I am anticipating some rain at some time during the weekend, which, as we saw in Sugo, can make a real difference to any one particular race. Sugo was 2 months ago, but it's still etched into my memory as one of the great rounds of the ARRC over the 8 years I've been working on it.
Yeah, that one will last in living memory, absolutely, for sure, as they come up to form on the grid now. 14 bikes. Schrader on the back straight at the moment, just cruising along, led by project leader Vorapong. It was his achievement in the beginning of 2020 in the only ARRC round, riding a TVS Apache in the AP250s, that led to this one-make championship coming through.
So the numbers to look out for: 7, Vorapong Malawan. He'll start on the second row of the grid. Number 3, just doing the wiggling up at the back there, that is Arshad Rusty, just making sure his tyres are nice and ready so that he doesn't get caught on the line. It's a 6-lap race. It's a 5.5 kilometre circuit here at Sepang, so there's quite a way to go, but if you get off to a really bad start, it can spoil the rest of your race. Get off to a reasonable start, you're okay. Get off to a good start, and your confidence is high.
That's it, and looking at the lap times in qualifying, that was a damp session. We could expect to see race pace in the 2:28s.
Okay, we are almost ready. TVS Asia One Make Championship, first race of the weekend. When the red lights go off, we are underway. It's a solid start from Arshad Rusty. He has taken along with him Agan Septian, the Indonesian, in P2. It's a long straight down to the right-hander at the front, but Arshad Rusty, we said don't get off to a bad start. He hasn't. Vorapong Malawan, though, is the man who takes the lead into the first corner.
Yeah, that was a nice start from him from the outside. Both Arshad and Vorapong running in white helmets, so reasonably easy to pick out.
Arshad dropped down to P4 very early on. It's not catastrophic, but it wouldn't be what he wanted to be, because he got off to a solid enough start. He's just then eased out of the way by Vorapong, and Vorapong has taken a Deki Tiano Aldi, who's number 2 in the overall championship, alongside with him.
And it is Deki that has taken the fight to Vorapong so far in this championship.
Deki had 2 P2s in Sepang last time round, so he knows his way around here. The race winners last time in Sepang, back in May, in round 1 of this championship, round 2 of the ARRC championship. Vorapong won the first race, and the second race was won by Fitri Ashraf, who is a non-starter today.
Correct, yeah, he's missed. I think he might be injured, but I'm not sure. And we've got... yeah, coming through there is Hayato Kobayashi. Good to see him at the front. They're just breaking away a little bit from Arshad.
As they come up the hill, corner number 9, Arshad Rusty really has not got off to the best of starts on this opening lap. I'm pretty sure he wants to be up with the leaders. Again, it's a long way to go, and his confidence is high. His confidence will be bruised a little bit if he's this far behind. He's got Agan Septiawan, who was alongside him on the front row of the grid. So both of the front row starters, P1 and P2, both struggling a little bit in the early stages.
Yeah, Agung was another one talking a good game and performing well in qualifying. These conditions, though, are this is the first dry session they've had, these guys.
Yeah, that can make a difference. How about the handling of these bikes? Obviously, in the wet weather, you're struggling to lug them around. Are they, on a circuit like this, are they easy to handle, these bikes?
They seem to be. You do get a bit of the back stepping out because of the high compression of these single-cylinder 310cc engines. The ECU provided by A-Racer has tamed that very significantly. So their lap times now are much higher than they were in the opening sessions of the first time we visited here back in May.
Deki Tiano was the man who led, going over the line at the end of the first of the 6 laps. Vorapong is second. The gap between P3, Kobayashi, and Watcharin is nearly a full second between P3 and P4. So Watcherin has joined Agung and Arshad Rusty. Arshad, the pole sitter, down in P6 at the moment and losing just a little bit of headway, as this time it's Kobayashi who takes over the running. Sorry, 16 is Dekitiano who's taken over the running. Kobayashi holding on there in the red helmet, just in P3, just nicely tucked in behind Moripon.
Yeah, it's a nice showing from Kobayashi. And yeah, Agung Septian behind them, making his way perhaps up to this group. They might help each other to catch up and make it a five-way fight.
Dekitiano, who's leading the way, he had a difficult time in Sugo. He had a P4 in race number 2, but in race number 1 he was down in P13. He really was near the back. If I recall, the conditions were just beginning to get a little bit iffy then, but the TVS One Make bike was not the friend of Dekitiano in race 1 in Sugo, but he's looking pretty comfortable here in race number 2. Now then, the races behind have closed up a little bit. Watcherin and Agung Septian have pulled in closer to the front 3, but it's still Dekitiano, the Indonesian, leading the way.
Yeah, and it is Dekitiano that's been the, if we could say, the best of the rest after Vorapung so far this season. And he's taking the fight once again. He hasn't been awed at any stage, even in the first round. The first round for TVS, by the way, was round 2 for ARRC. The last time out at Sepang. But now we're looking at a 5-way and possibly going to turn into a 6-way battle for the podium.
He's holding on just as the pole sitter, Arshad Rusty, the Singaporean. We've not had any Singaporeans, as far as I can remember, in the top echelons of any of the championships, certainly in my time in ARRC. So it's good to see Singapore getting Arshad, who's a dogged competitor. He's always turned up, he's always given his best, he's always been honest, and he's struggling just a little bit here down in P6. He's 1.8 seconds down off the leader, which isn't terminal. You can catch that up. 4 laps to go.
Yeah, and he is capable of doing really good laps around here, and I think he's just coming onto the back of that group as we speak. He paid tribute to his family for backing him, like a lot of these young riders do.
So important, family support, of course. Dekitiano and Agung Septian changed positions. We did have a new race leader. Just looking back now to see if Agung is still holding on. Agung and Dekitiano are there, and Arshad Rusty has indeed joined in that top 6. That's neat and tidy, as Vorapang, the number 7, holds on to P3.
Yeah, looks like Arshad's finding his rhythm again. Got 4 laps to go, which is quite a long way around this Sepang circuit. That was Watcherin tucked him on a little further at the back there, just taking a big look around him. I'm not sure what that was about.
Yeah, Watcherin was in P4 at one stage. He's dropped a couple of places, but these front 6 are pulling away from Freddie Jacobs in 7 and Tanaka in 8. And KY Ahmad, the best of the Indian race, in P9, Jagan Kumar 10. We'll look at that that inter-night nation race as one in its own right, because Jagan Kumar will want to be the best of the Indian racers, even though he's 40 years of age now. Great longevity from Jagan Kumar, but he's a long way behind.
Yeah, he's had some injuries and not really raced very competitively for 5 years, so this is literally him making a comeback at the ripe old age.
Well, this is interesting. As number 9 goes past us, that's Freddie Jacobs. And then bike number 1, Jagan Kumar. 10th position at the moment, a best lap of 2:30.102. Off the pace just a little bit, higher speed, under 190 kilometers an hour. But he's the man who India looked to for so many years as possibly the man to make it on the international scene. Never really quite happened.
No, never really quite happened. He's got his compatriot, KY Ahmed, in front of him. But it is Dekitiano still leading.
Midway point.
Agung and Vorapong, who seem to be the provisional podium finishers. But look at Arshad coming through there.
So Arshad got up into P4. He's up into P4 now, but he seems to have lost a little bit there on the second part of the circuit, the two long straights, they do seem to be hurting Arshad Rusty. Now the engineers have got to give equal attention to just about everybody. The setups are virtually identical, but you can tweak a little bit with the setup.
Yes, you can. You can adjust the settings a little bit. These riders come in different shapes and sizes, from the relatively diminutive Vorapong to the lanky Freddie Jacobs.
He's a tall boy, isn't he? As we are on board here with Arshad Rusty. Again, yeah, so when it's when there's a lot of manoeuvring, Arshad Rusty is getting close, but on the two long straights, he really does need to get up to the back wheel of somebody and get a little bit of slipstream if he possibly can. There he is, he's pulled up to the front three once again, but we've seen this on a couple of occasions now for Arshad Rusty.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. P4, as long as he doesn't get tangled up. He was held up a little bit by the two riders behind him, particularly Watcherin, the Thai. Another experienced young racer. In other words, he's been in the Thailand Talent Cup, the Asia Talent Cup, and put himself on the podium in those series. So he's a little bit of a known quantity and another good benchmark in this series.
Yeah, there's some pretty experienced racers out here. As one of the most experienced of them all. Number 7, Vorapong Malawan, is just tracking behind Dekitiano Aldi, who's much younger, but needs to get points. It's a 30-point differential at the top of the overall championship. There's only this plus 3 more races to go in the whole season. So Deki needs a victory ahead of Vorapong to at least make a dent in that 30-point advantage.
Yeah, the really good thing is that many of us, me included, I must admit, expected Vorapong to be running away at the front and us to be talking about the best of the rest, but they've really taken the fight to him. He might be proud of his followers, his proteges, or right now he won't be proud of them. He'll be just wanting to beat them.
2/3 of the way through, Dekitiano leads. Vorapong, number 7, once again takes the best line into that first corner. He's done that regularly, and Vorapong is the new leader momentarily, possibly, but actually, no, he's actually held on as they go round the right, left, down the hill at the early stages of lap number 4. 2 laps to go, sorry, lap number 5. So this is the penultimate lap.
Yeah,
and we've dropped one. Who have we dropped? I think it's Kobayashi who's been dropped.
Yeah, Kobayashi's been dropped, and that's Watcherin up into 3rd. I think he's got Agung behind him, yeah.
And Arshad Rusty, who we've spoken about, or I've spoken about at length, in P5 at the moment. But Vorapong has lost that place once again to Dekitiano. So Dekitiano has been first or second throughout this whole race. Happy to lead, happy to take the initiative. Will he be leading at the end of 6 laps, though? That is when it really, really matters.
Yeah, he's got plenty of fight in him, hasn't he, Deki? As a lot of the Indonesian riders here do.
Still Dekitiano leads. Vorapong shadows him. Bike number 2, Agung Septian. They're all riding the TVS Apache RR310. Identical bikes. What's Arshad doing? He's gone just a little bit wide there.
I think that was an experiment rather than a mistake, but yeah, he took a very wide line through there. Perhaps he's looking for a fast exit to that turn. Let's see what happens as they come through the next 2 turns.
I think he did get some kind of a slingshot, but the front 2 are motoring away pretty well. Fastest speed at the moment comes from Watcherin, 195.7. Fastest lap of the race, 228.1, which also from Watcherin.
Yeah, Vorapong just let Deki come through then. He went wide. It didn't look like a mistake. I think he just wanted to take a look at him.
So 5 men coming into the hairpin for the penultimate time.
And Agung's trying to get through, but he's not going to make it stick.
This time it will be bike number 2, which is Agung Septian, who did make it stick. I was with you. It looked like he was just going to be clawed in, but Agung Septian leads from Vorapong, from Dekitiano, Watcherin and Arshad Rusty in P5. So these 5 will decide the podium amongst themselves.
This is excellent. This is a 5-way battle for the lead.
Loving this. This is I don't think we expected this for the TVS one, Mick, did we? I think we expected a procession.
Yeah, this is the most competitive race we've seen.
Watcherin has a lead of about half a second. Behind them, the racers are just competing for positions, but Watcherin pulls in. Arshad Rusty is the man now in P2. Maybe he's just been keeping his powder dry for the final lap, making sure he's in contention going into the final 5.5 kilometers.
Well, we haven't seen these two riders in P1, P2 at the front yet until now this season.
So the Singaporean now just trying to get on the tail here of Watcherin. Watcherin's season, he's had 2 P4s, one in Sepang and one in Sugo, but now he's leading. Vorapang decides, okay, hey, I'm the race leader here. You boys can't race without me, you know.
That's it. Let's see what he can do now. But Watcherin's doing a nice job.
Watcherin, bike 14 leads. Vorapang up into P2. Agung Septian is just as across the 2 white helmets. There is Arshad Rusty, Agung Septian, and then behind them you've got Deki Tiano, who's dropped down from P1 down to P5, having led for so long at this race. Deki Tiano's in danger of missing out on the podium.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Watcherin as they come around this long right-hander, then you have the 2 long straights, and Watcherin will be very, very aware that Vorapang Malawan is the man who is right on his tail. Vorapang in perfect position, Barry Russell.
Yep, no surprise there, but what is Arshad currently 5th?
Back in P5, Arshad as Vorapang goes in, takes the inside line. Vorapang Malawan, he's left it until late. Has he gone a little bit wide? Well, Vorapang Malawan needs to hold on. He's got to accelerate towards the finish line. Vorapang Malawan under pressure, loses out, and the victory goes to Watcherin ahead of Vorapang. Agung Septian in 3, Deki Tiano 4th, Arshad Rusty in P5. Fabulous finale, brilliant work from Watcherin, who takes his first win of the season.
Perfect timing by Watcherin to take that win. He was so close, we thought at one point almost too close to the back wheel of Vorapong, but he timed that coming out of his slipstream to perfection and steamed past him. Let's have another look. There
As he goes, he's in the slipstream. Vorapang had timed the hairpin beautifully, but then just accelerates out of the slipstream, avoids the traffic, and just, oh, there is no better feeling.
That's it, and Vorapong thought about moving across to break the slipstream, but he couldn't.
Terrific performance there to take the victory from Watcherin. It's his first win of the season, it's his first podium of the season. Vorapang picks up his 5th podium of the season and will actually extend his lead in the overall championship standings as Deki gets her 2nd P4 in succession. But the taste of victory will be very, very, very sweet for Watcherin Tubdimon.
You could imagine that those slipstreaming skills were honed in the Asia Talent Cup, where they race the Moto3 bikes, and it's all about slipstreaming there. That was just a beautiful move.
One thing, as we were watching the top 5, KY Ahmad has come through into a very respectable P6. So that's the Indian Racers' joint best result of the season. He'll pick up 10 points for that. Let's have a confirmation of the result. Arshad Rusty taking this by, Watcherin taking this by 0.025 per second from Vorapong. Agung Septian in P3. Deki Tiano for Indonesia for Arshad Rusty in P5. 1.4 seconds down. KY Ahmad getting the better of Fugo Tanaka for P6. Kobayashi, who at one stage was in the leading group, he drops down to a frustrating and disappointing P8 for him. Freddie Jacobs, the Australian, in P9. Jagan Kumar from India in P10 will pick up points. Natapon 11. Varis Fleming, welcome back. Delighted to see he's finished there neat and tidy. 19 seconds adrift. He's in 12 ahead of Nakahara and Deepak Ravikumar, the final of the 14 starters who finished the race.
And we were talking up Arshad Rusty after his pole position, but he would have taken, that's his top 5 finish. First time he's been close to that this season. Little celebration there from Watcherin. Very well deserved. expected a little bit more from Freddie Jacobs in that one, I have to say. And you called it right, Des, about Varys Fleming. I saw him just about an hour ago and just cleaning himself up, getting ready for the race. And he was a bit scuffed up after a crash yesterday. Fast crash at about 130 kph at turn 3, something like that. He's lost a lot of skin, he's off his arms. So not a very comfortable ride for him. Well, there's joint celebrations. The master and the student. Warapong number 7, and 2 times 7 is 14, and 14 was the winner.
Warapong seems almost as happy as Watcherin, as if to say, well done, my student. I let you win that one. I was leading going in, but there you go. I'm the master, but he's not. He's in P2, and he's only won 2 of 5 races. Only won 2 of 5 races, but been on the podium every single time. Most importantly for him, though, he has increased his overall championship lead massively. I think it's 37 points now, the lead. There is a possibility that he could be champion, if not tomorrow, but certainly by the first race in Buriram on the final round of the season.
True. Yeah, the delight you can see from Warapong is genuine there. He's really enjoying this project, and of course he loves racing. And he's on the podium again.
The biggest smile goes to our winner, Watcherin Tuptimon. Fastest lap, 2:28.168.
Yeah, best position before this win was 4th.
Which I got a couple of times, so yeah, big celebrations. And in terms of the TVS One Make coming in, to have 5 racers going into the final corner, or certainly into the penultimate straight, in with a chance of winning, great for the sport and great for TVS to actually show that these bikes are super competitive.
Yeah, as a competition, this has got better and better to watch. It was good fun in Sugo, and this was excellent, as you said, Des, with 5 fighting for the lead.
Okay, highlights of the TVS One Make Championship, race number 1. The man on pole position was Arshad Rusty, the Singaporean, who got off to a solid start, but it was the man in P4 and the overall championship leader, Warapong Malawan, who would be able to get into the first corner first, and Arshad never truly recovered after that. By lap 5, he had a little spell where he was challenging for the front 2, but I always thought that once he got off to that poorish start, Barry Russell, he was never really the same racer, Arshad.
Yeah, it is race day, and the riders around him were equally determined, but good learning curve for him.
Deki Tiano Aldi, the younger Indonesian, bike number 16, he was in P2 in the overall championship. He was the man who was leading most of the way as Arshad Rusty, number 3, tried to get back into the thrust of the race. By the time we got to the midpoint, Deki Aldi looked like he would be genuinely looking to compete to be on the podium at the end. It wouldn't happen for Deki, but by this stage, the breakaway 5, well, we knew that the winner was going to come from one of these 5.
Yeah, or really one of these 3. Tuptimon came, Tuptimon, Watcherin Tuptimon came through to the lead late on, but he kept himself in the hunt all the way through.
Bike number 14, we're talking about Watcherin Tuptimon, the Thai, as they come into the final corner. Warapong, I thought he timed it right. Was he able to hold on? What kind of a drive was he able to get out of that final corner? Not good enough, because he had Watcherin coming up in the slipstream, just pulls out, although despite the best defensive efforts of Warapong and the tightest, narrowest of margins, a victory first of the season for Thailand's Watcherin Tuptimon.
Beautiful job.
Really was, great racing, and onto the podium. And it's always nice to be the tallest on there, isn't it? It's nice to be P3, which is what Ageng Septian is. We haven't really talked about Ageng, but it's his first podium. But there is what it means for Watcherin, the Thai, literally bounding onto the stage. And it was one giant leap onto the top of the podium. Once they get the flag sorted, I think we'll have the Thai national anthem. That flag isn't going to stick. Everything else did. Very happy at the top of the podium. Vorapang, as always, full of smiles. He's a great character, Vorapang. You can see why he is the leader of this group. Selvaraj, the general manager of TVS Racing, hands over the prizes. Agung Septian, good performance from Agung, his first podium as well.
Yeah, he came in confident. And there he is, the big smile from the project leader, P2.
An even bigger smile, though, from the man who nipped him up the front. I'm always looking at Vorapang and saying, why are you celebrating so much? I understand you're happy, but gosh, you've just been beaten by a whisker. He just must love racing.
He surely does love racing, yeah.
Stefan Crapier also helping out with the podium prize giving. The TVS One Make Championship, the victory goes to Watcherin in the centre of that group, from Vorapang and from Agung Septian. In the overall championship standings, we can have a little look at what that means. By my reckoning, Vorapang has increased his overall championship lead to 31 points. Maybe that explains the big smile, because he knows he's within touching distance of the championship. And confirmation of these. Yeah, it's a 31-point lead for Vorapang over Dekitiano Aldi. Watcherin moves up into P3 on 66 points. Agung Septian, 54. Ono, an absentee here. Freddie Jacobs, 43 points. Tanaka picked up points today, picked up 9 points today for P7. He's in 7th place. And KY Ahmad topping the Indian charts on 40 points after his best performance of the season so far to date. Okay, let's get a quick reaction from down on the podium. And I believe Daniel Bogas is to be asking the questions.
So we're here at the podium with the winner of the TVS Race 1, Watcherin Tutumon. So Watcherin, what a race that was. First of all, congratulations on that. That was quite the battle down to the line. So can you tell us a bit how that race was for you?
ก็ออกสตาร์ทอันดับ10นะครับช่วงออกสตาร์ทก็มีฝนตกลงมานิดหน่อยครับแล้วก็วันนี้ผมก็ตั้งใจทำออกมาให้ดีที่สุดครับเพื่อคว้ารอบสุดท้ายที่ตามเป้าหมายตั้งไว้ครับขอบคุณครับขอบคุณแฟนๆชาวไทยที่เชียร์ด้วยนะครับขอบคุณครับ Thank you.
Thank you so much, Watcherin, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Yes, Daniel will be down on the pit lane for all afternoon to get pre-race interviews and post-race reaction. The first of our 5 races for today is complete. That's the TVS One Make. Coming up after the break, we head to the exciting Underbone 150cc. You're at Sepang in Malaysia. This is the Asia Road Racing Championships. We're back with you in just a couple of minutes' time.